All right, so I wanted to also cover some of the cycles that you're currently in. The first one being a Venus return. So Venus returns to her original place that she was in the sky the moment we were born every 8 years. And you're getting ready to go into that. That Venus return lasts about, I feel like it's 18 months from the beginning to the end of that return cycle. And it's sort of like that journey into the underworld. If you know the story of Inanna going into the underworld, removing one of her vestments at each level as she descends into the depths. The underworld being the place where we retrieve our power. We have to overcome something. It's like a transformative process. So this would be your 6th Venus return, and you've done this before. Every time we get a new, we come out from this cycle new. We come out with something different. Something that I find useful is to go back every time I was an 8, 16, going through like that, and just sort of tracking those timings, having a moment to remember what was the material of my life at that time, what was going on, and then kind of getting a clue about the way Venus is expressing as you and ways that you can consciously co-create with Venus in your actual life. So you've got that going on. Also, Pluto is right near Venus for you. Pluto out in the sky is near Venus for you. So that would be transformation again. Transformation of what? What we view, the way we view our femininity, the way we are expressing our femininity. What do we want to draw in? This gives us a time to really ask those questions of what would I like to be pulling in, and how can I do it more creatively and consciously, connecting with that, whatever it is in the sky that is representing my form of femininity. And I like to use that imagery of Venus, like the way that I am embodying Venus. So finding that out during this next 18-month window. I didn't track the exact timings. It's pretty clockwork for on the 8s. Every time you are in that 8, so you're turning 48 this year, and it'll be during it's your Venus return. So there are specific dates that I feel like you can tune in deeper. But I'm in my Venus return also. I'm turning 40 this year, and I don't want to know the dates. I just want to keep staying open to the journey and to understanding, communicating with that part of myself and finding out, how can I do this more? And the next thing I wanted to mention is your Chiron return. So we get a Chiron return every 50 years. So it's very, very potent, very powerful. The idea is that if you look in a book, it's going to say Chiron is the wounded healer. And sure, there is something about that. There's definitely something about abandonment, loss, betrayal, guilt, and shame, how those things have affected us, and how we sometimes try to put a Band-Aid on our wounds, and we try to stuff it down. All of those ways we communicate with woundedness, but it's also just as equally our greatest power, our greatest strengths. Every time those things happen, I feel like every time we get a choice to either like defense, hide, or we just show up and get shot at. I mean, not literally, but maybe. And be able to, that wouldn't be very smart, actually. Sometimes running away is the best option. So Chiron is that part of us that learns how to bring together all the parts of ourselves, being able to create this alchemy. When we're making homeopathic medicine, we crush, pound, make it into this elixir that from poison, and that becomes the medicine. And that's what Chiron's doing in our life, or the way that we are being Chironized, and that part of us that is the alchemist, that is the shamanic healer. So Chiron return, this, if you've been, which I feel like you have been every time, you know, doing your work, it seems like that to me. Like you keep showing up as something different, and you are alchemy, bringing together all these parts and making gold. So if that's been going down, and, you know, at Chiron return, all of those gifts can fully blossom. And if not, it's totally fine too, because I feel like there's always that one little thing that, you know, oh, just, it hasn't quite been able to get out. I haven't quite been able to get that thing to bring it up to the surface. Not saying get it out. I don't feel like Chiron wants us to get it out. I feel like Chiron wants us to bring it up. Look at it. Make conscious communication and choices with that material, whatever that is. So at Chiron return, we get an opportunity to do that. Whatever last little things might be there, they will show up. If we're lucky and fortunate, thank God they show up, because now we're able to do something with it, do something about it, learn from it, ask it questions, find that part of our body that resonates with that thing, whatever that thing is, and create wholeness and let that fully integrate. So, yep, I'll go ahead and stop there. Thank you so much. If you have any questions or want clarification, please feel free to ask. You can send me an email or contact me whatever way you want. I would probably pass out and cry, but yeah. So thank you so much, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.